In order for me to be able to tell you when something happened, I'd have to think about when. If I think about it, it would wind up hurting me. So I don't think about it. If I had a choice, and of course you has already said to me we all have choices. Maybe we do. At the time I didn't seem to have one. But if I could have, I would like to be different than what I am. I would have liked to have been different than what I was, yes. It would be better. It would have been better for me. I would have liked to have had a better outlook on life. But I can't change yesterday.
Richard Kuklinski was born April 11th, 1935, in a low-income public housing project in Jersey City. His father was a brakeman for the railroad, and his mother worked in a meat packing plant.
I didn't like my father, as he would beat me just because he felt like it, to get my attention, I guess. He would think nothing of coming in and smacking you. You know, basically. He'd just come in and give you a whooping for no reason whatsoever. And my mother was cancer. She would destroy everybody. She thought I took too long to do something. She didn't hesitate to give me a swat here and there. And she didn't just use her hand. She would hit me with a broomstick or something like that. It hurt. As a matter of fact, she broke the broom on me more than once.
Richard's mother believed that harsh discipline at home should go hand in hand with a rigid religious education.
I was raised Catholic. She was strict as far as the religion goes. I went to...
Your mother?
My mother, yeah. My mother, we went to Catholic grammar school. And we were raised with the Catholic belief. I was even an altar boy. But during the course of my life, I don't really believe it. It's just the way it happened. Didn't mean it to happen that way, but it just happened that way.
When his father abandoned the family, Richard, a skinny, timid young teenager, was left to fend for himself. He was an easy target for street gangs, but by the time he was 16, things began to change.
When I was a young man, I found out that if you hurt somebody, they'll leave you alone. Good guys do finish last. When I tried to leave everybody alone, just do my own thing, everybody just wanted to hurt me. Until one day I just decided, well, I've had enough of this picking. And I went upstairs and I took a bar, which the clothes used to hang on in the closet. And I went back downstairs, and there were like 6 young men still figuring they were going to mess with my head, and we went to war. To their surprise, I was no longer taking the beating. I was giving it. And that's when I learned that it was better to give than to receive. I've been known to hurt people for no reason. If you check out my background as I came up, I could be anywhere, and if somebody humiliated me, I would think nothing of hitting them with a cue stick. In an instant. And the only thing they might have done was made me feel bad, or challenge my authority at the time.
Kuklinski's reputation as a tough guy with a hair-trigger temper grew. By the time he was 18, the abused had become the abuser. It wasn't long before he committed his first murder.
I got into a fight in a bar. We got into an argument, a fight. And I hit him with a cue stick. A few too many times. And he died.
How'd you feel after, when you found out he had died?
I had felt very bad. Very, very bad. I was upset. I didn't mean to do it, actually. But surprisingly, I felt sadness, and after a while, I felt something else. I didn't feel sad. It was sad along with some sort of a rush that I had control, and if you mess with me, I guess it's, if you mess with me, I'll hurt you.
By the time he'd reached his 20s, Kuklinski had become a petty crook and pool hustler. Then his life changed. In 1960, he met a pretty 19-year-old girl named Barbara Pedrin.
He was absolutely flowers at the door every day, and considerate and romantic, and all of the things that anybody could hope for, dream for. He bought me beautiful things. We went fun places. He was happiest when we were together. He was happiest when just he and I were together.
He and Barbara had 3 children. But with just an 8th grade education, he could only get low-paying jobs that didn't pay enough to support his growing family.
I didn't have the capability of getting a better paying job. Was I going to push a yarn truck the rest of my life? Make a menial amount of money? I couldn't have afforded 1 child, let alone 3.
He went to work at a film lab, where he began to pirate pornographic films and sell them to outside sources connected to the Gambino crime family. This connection led to other criminal activities, and it wasn't long before he went from being a small-time hood to a big-time killer. He worked as a hitman and associated with a gang that worked out of the notorious Gemini Lounge in Brooklyn. Above the lounge was a mafia killing factory where victims were killed and dismembered. Hacked bodies were packaged in plastic bags and carted away. Kuklinski was the perfect enforcer. He was brutal, and he knew how to intimidate. If people owed money, they either paid up or paid with their lives.
Most people paid their bills. Some didn't. I remember one guy, he was owed a lot of money. Well, I guess a considerable amount of money. He thought he could hide behind a door. It was a nice door, expensive door. Anyway, most people don't realize that when you come